children are our most precious resource, as you well know. How many parents are here tonight? Raise your hand. Grandparents. Great-grandparents. Oh, I'm not the only one. We're at a great-grandparent budget. She's only 3 years old. So we know how hard it is to really guide our children. And we really want the best for them. So tonight, we have asked Education 2010, along with our co-sponsors, the folks who are running for office to represent us, to come together and talk to us and answer questions that actually came from the audience about education. And we're glad that you're here, and we thank you all. To my right, we have State Representative Kenneth Green. And the Democratic nominee for State Representative Matthew Ritter. Is the Democratic nominee for State Rep Arjo Winch. Again, thank you for coming. Now we have a special ingredient. Before I go on to that, I just want to let you know who's behind all of this. Education 2010 is an organization that believes sustainable public education equals sustainable communities, and that's who I represent.
Historically, parent involvement in the educational process has been seen as being limited to a small number. For the most part, parents and guardians are unaware of what happens during the legislative process. Their involvement has been as recipient of the impact of new laws once they are passed. Overall, parents and guardians want to have input before a law is passed or a bill is raised, allowing them to have a say on laws that will ultimately impact their child's education. At present, parents and guardians not only feel left out, but also feel that their being left out is a deliberate action on behalf of the lawmakers. Parents and guardians want to see this changed. And our question to you is, what can you do to assist parents and guardians to become actively involved in the legislative process with regard to the decisions that impact education and youth services in our communities?
But as a legislator, let me tell you about some specific things that have happened. One of the things that I campaigned on, and one of the things that I love to get into discussions with people about is that I wanted to raise the age from 16 to 18 before you could drop out of school. That law has passed. And if you think about it, we do think about it. First of all, it involved parents. That parents came to me and said, how can you guys at the state legislature let my child drop out of school at 16? I can't do anything about it. And if you think about 4 or 5 years ago, young people could drop out of school at 16 and parents couldn't do anything about it. And I said, that's just not right. Parents are responsible for their children until they're 18 years of age. How are you not going to have them responsible until they're 18 and then let them drop out at 16? We passed that bill. Parents, the original bill said this: children cannot drop out of school without their parents' permission. That meant that schools had to involve the parents in that decision making. We passed that bill because parents are the best educators of their children. Parents are the ones that need to take responsibility for the education of their children. So that's how we need to get parents involved.
So when you talk about how do you get parents involved, one of the first things that has changed is where the school board meetings are. They're way out in the South End. When we did our city council, the Planning and Economic Development Commission, which I chair, we did the 10-year Plan of Conservation and Development. We met in every single NRZ, from Niskayuna all the way to West Boulevard to Albany Avenue. Everybody had input on it. That's how you got to run a board or a system if you want to get input. When you talk about charter magnet schools, one of the biggest problems I find is continuity in the school systems that encourage parental involvement. I'll give you a great example. About 5 years ago, we didn't give bonus points to siblings, so that it was a minimal amount, so that if you had a sibling in the school, you had a good chance of getting that school with a sibling, but it wasn't guaranteed. They've said they've reformed it, but they haven't done enough still. And I'll tell you why that's important. PTOs, Milliard City Aegis, organizations like that grow out of parents who watch their kids grow up together. They knew each other in kindergarten, they knew each other in 3rd grade and 5th grade, they have a younger sibling come along, they work together to create change in the school, and that's what we're hoping for, is accountability from parents. If you deny siblings the chance to go to school together, you lose a real pipeline of leadership. We also don't do enough mentoring for young parents when they get into kindergarten. When you get into kindergarten and 1st grade, one of the first things there should be is not just class and kindergarten for the students, how about something for the parents? How about an opportunity to talk to them about what is going to be involved in their education for the next 7 years?
It's a mandate that municipalities must fund the boards of education, but we have absolutely no control over what they do with the money once we give it out. We got to give them the check. We can't control what they're spending. So if they decide to hire more what they call qualified teachers rather than put books in the classroom, we can't do anything about it. And that's wrong. And with the Sheff versus O'Neill, the state has done a real tricky thing about, how they implement that. And I will tell you, in talking to the former Councilwoman Elizabeth Horton Sheff, she's really disappointed about the way that has been implemented, because you're going to get more children funded with the dollars coming into the city of Hartford than the young people who live right next door to the school trying to get inside the building. The formula needs to be changed. It needs to be more Hartford residents being able to get into those magnet schools, into those charter schools, into schools that are inside their neighborhood, because like my former, people that spoke before me said, it's important that we build a community of education, that we capitalize like these organizations have done on the children's strength, rather than reminding them about what their, ethnicity is, reminding them about, what's around them, concentrate on what they want to be, help them to, put together the things that they want, help them to dream and dream big and know that they can realize those dreams through our help.